Good afternoon. We're on major depressive disorder, part 3. Watching these self-help videos can be good for your mental health improvement and help others. We definitely had made good movements towards the mental health world. Let's learn what depression is. Please remember this is an educated video. It's not a substitute for personal advice. Here are some signs of you develop depression. 1. Irregular sleep problems with depression. I don't have a great sleep routine. Sleeping too much can also be a problem for me, which is sometimes sleeping too much, having a hard time getting out of bed. Taking naps can also have an effect on me and many others. Side effects can be loss of appetite, insomnia, weight loss, lack of. Some people have depression, i.e. me, having a hard time is falling asleep as me. Oversleeping or overeating is another one. This is called an atypical disorder. This disorganized, likely undiagnosed, labels simply being lazy, as some people refer, without being undiagnosed. Number 2, have you noticed you have yourself having a hard time managing emotions? Mood swings, often getting angry, irritated, upset, emotions, hurt more often than others about the things that never used to be before, such as irritated and upset emotions or hurt, what we just went over. Number 3, cries for help. Even though we might pick someone depressed, and what happens, not all the time, but one of them is emotionally numb, apathetic, feeling no interest and enthusiasm, concern. Empty depression also makes you moody, emotional. Volatile is a shift in dramatic change. This is when somebody is falling apart. Do you struggle with asking people for help? The problem is very hard to find help for fear of thinking you're a burden by loved ones. Struggling may be invalidated or not understood. So resort is making cries instead. I can tell you, full psychotic break, I was not thrilled to go get help. But now I know I can go get help. Denying anything wrong or even already crying or breaking down is normal. Making depressive jokes is an example of what you're going to wear to the wedding, said her husband Sarah. Jack joked down at his suit. Now embarrassed him. He's already stressed about going to the wedding with a group of people where it would be a social event. This made him anxious. Sarah knew that. Is there something wrong with my outfit? This is according to the website attached to below. It's a great link for help. Here is that link. Coming up with stories and lies, also a part of depression. Number 4, overspending impulsive. This is number 4 of 6. Overspending impulsive, something I do with hats. Hasn't showing been out of control lately when you used to be frugal and now you're spending a lot for something? People suffering depression, this is not uncommon. Buying things to make you feel better. Example of maladaptive coping strategies, including avoidance behavior like drinking, emotional numbing, gambling, and social withdrawal, emotional masking, negative judgments, overcompensating, and relying on the same approach over and over. Similar situations also of maladaptive.
Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to another video. Do you consider yourself knowledgeable enough to spot the signs of depression in someone? If you're someone who often reads our articles, watches our videos, and frequents other psychology-related self-help websites or journals, then you might answer yes. And while we're certainly grateful for the recent mental health awareness movement that's been happening all over the world, there might still be a lot left for us to learn about the true nature of depression. Please remember this video is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional advice. With that said, here are 7 surprising habits you might develop when you have depression. Number 1, having irregular sleeping and eating habits. The most prominent symptom of a depressive episode is a significant disturbance in someone's sleeping and eating patterns. And yes, while the most common manifestations for this would be insomnia, weight loss, and lack of appetite, some people struggling with depression may do the opposite and end up oversleeping or overeating. This is called atypical depression, and those who have this specific type of depression are at greater risk of being undiagnosed, dismissed, and mislabeled as simply being lazy. Number 2, having mood swings or outbursts. Have you noticed yourself having more difficulty controlling your emotions lately? Do you often get upset, angry, irritated, or hurt about the things you never used to before? Even though we might picture someone who's depressed as being emotionally numb, empty, and apathetic, depression can also make us moodier and more emotionally volatile. Having frequent, uncharacteristic outbursts, like suddenly crying for no reason or snapping at someone out of the blue, can actually be taken as a sign that someone's mental health is falling apart. Number 3, making muted cries for help. Do you struggle with asking for help? As much as we might want to not need anyone else, there's no shame in asking for help when we need it. The problem is people with depression often find this painfully difficult to do for fear that they might be seen as a burden by their loved ones, or that their struggles might be invalidated and misunderstood. So they resort to making muted cries for help instead. Some examples include denying that anything's wrong, even when they're already crying or breaking down, making self-deprecating jokes, or having a dark sense of humor, or coming up with cover stories that are lies. Number 4, overspending or impulse buying. Has your shopping or spending been out of control lately? Do you often find yourself buying lots of things on impulse when you used to be frugal and financially savvy? For some people suffering from depression, this kind of behavior is not uncommon. Buying things to make you feel better and treating yourself to luxury goods to serve as a distraction or a self-esteem booster is most likely a maladaptive coping mechanism. Number 5, constantly searching for meaning. Searching for meaning is something that's inherent to human nature. All of us are looking for our reason for being, wondering what our purpose is. But unlike people struggling with depression, it's not usually at the forefront of our minds. Depression, however, has a way of making us feel like we're constantly wasting our time and potential when we're not chasing greatness or success. Have you heard that famous quote written by Louisa May Alcott? "I want to be great or nothing." Well, this is exactly the reason why people who are depressed are more vulnerable to feelings of nihilism and inadequacy. But in reality, even if you don't accomplish amazing goals or gain fame and riches, your life would still be worth living because existence in and of itself is already so beautiful and meaningful. Number 6, pondering about life and death. Are you or someone around you frequently very philosophical? Something you might notice if you ever find yourself around people struggling with depression is that they can be very insightful, perspective, and wise beyond their years. This is because they spend a lot of their time thinking and pondering about matters like life and death. Indeed, depression can make even the most easygoing and extroverted of us more introspective, deep, philosophical, and intense. And number 7, being more creative. Last, but certainly not least, something that might surprise you about depression is just how much it can fuel creativity and self-expression. Sylvia Plath, Ernest Hemingway, Frida Kahlo, Kurt Cobain, and Vincent van Gogh. What do they all have in common? Well, it's possible that they inspired the tortured artist trope. The idea that artistic genius and mental illness often go hand in hand. We certainly aren't romanticizing depression or mental illness, but it is worth noting that having a creative outlet to better express ourselves can make a world of difference in helping us deal with such painful and powerful thoughts and feelings. So, did you learn something new about the habits of depression? Remember, if you or anyone you know is struggling with feelings of depression or anxiety, please don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health care professional and get the help you need. Did you find this video insightful? Tell us in the comments below. Please like and share it with friends that might find value in this video too. Make sure to subscribe to Psych2Go and hit the notification bell for more content. All the references used are added in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
The Orioles win Game 3 but lose the series. Vinny Pasquantino and Bobby Witt Jr. carried the offense last night as Bobby Witt Jr. had 2 home runs at 21 and 22. He had 3 hits and 4 RBIs. Pasquantino had 1 hit, but it was a 2-run homer. Cole Reagans did not have his best stuff, but found a way to get through the game. Orioles gain a half game on the wild card lead for third place or second place. They're only a half game behind the Twins. The Cardinals have taken 2 in a row after losing 4 out of 5. Back to 3 games over 500, and tonight they will have a chance to sweep the Rays. Kyle Gibson will go for the Cardinals, and Shane Baez will go for the Rays. The Cubs take 3 of 4 from the Twins, helping the Royals. Yesterday, winning 7-3. The Cubs and Royals are off today. That's Sam on Sports, Thursday, August 8th.